Hello, everyone. Mike Balentine here, and welcome to week 3. This is episode 2 of the third week of the Sports Pulpit. Now, this week's topic is the NFL Supplemental Draft. We will define the draft by telling you why it exists, who is eligible, and how it works. And we did that yesterday. So if this is your first one and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. So stop. Hit that backspace button, go back and find number 1, watch it first, and then come back and join us in a couple minutes. About 8.5 minutes to be exact. That was all it took for us to do the first one. This one will be about the same. Then we will talk about current Texas Tech quarterback Brandon Sorsby and what the supplemental draft may mean to him and his NFL career. That'll be today. After that, we're going to look at 4 separate people who were in the draft process. They had varying degrees of success. And then after we talk about each one of them, we'll look at them and say, which one of those 4 do we think Brandon Sorsby will most likely mirror if he joins the supplemental draft? Then we'll research and we'll ask a question. Is gambling becoming a problem in college football? And if so, what are the ramifications of that? That's next. And then finally, in episode 5, which teams could be interested in Brandon Sorsby and if the possible potential is worth the possible punishment? All right, guys, thank you for being here with us. Yes, you heard me right. This is 5 short-form podcasts this week. This is number 2. So ensure that you don't miss any of them. Subscribe to our channel, All Gloves Off Sports Media, where you can get an absolute ton of content like the Red Hot Reds, Minor League Mondays, Football with Cheese, and then Cheese and I combine on the Lights Out Sports podcast. And we have 2 new podcasts that we're introducing into the fray. Fanboys Unleashed, featuring Mr. First Down. And our newest podcast, a wrestling podcast called Cheap Pop Society. So with that being said, knowing that it's free to do so, subscribe. Make that bell ring. Like our programming and talk us up by sharing our great sports content on your social media platforms with all of your friends. All right, guys, let's dive deep. Now, Brandon Sorsby is being investigated for gambling on college football and other sports, and we'll get into that more tomorrow. But first, I want to talk about Brandon Sorsby and ask the question, is he even worth a flyer statistically? Now, he redshirted in Indiana in 2022. He only played in 1 game and threw for 8 yards, so we're just not counting that, all right? In 2023, which was essentially year 1 in Indiana, in 10 games, he had a 57% completion rate, a solid 15-5 touchdown to interception rate, with 1,587 total yards. He then went to UC, or the Cincinnati Bearcats, as some of you may know them by. His first year with them, now remember, this is in the Big 12, Big 10 in Indiana, Big 12 here in Cincinnati, and I'll let you decide if the Big 10 and Big 12 are on par with each other. Completion rate of 64%, an 18-7 touchdown to interception rate, while throwing over 1,000 yards more total than his previous year. Previous year was 1,587. In the first year with the Cincinnati Bearcats, he threw 2,813, but he did play in 2 more games. Then in his junior year with Cincinnati, again in 12 games, so no injury problems in any of those years, he improved drastically. 27 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions, while still throwing for exactly 2,800 yards. He also led the Big 12 in adjusted yards gained per pass attempt, yards gained per pass completion, and passing efficiency rating. He led the entire Big 12 in all 3 of those categories. So stack on top of this that he's a dual threat quarterback as well. In his 35 career games, he rushed for 1,295 yards and 22 total rushing touchdowns. So he has thrown for 60 and he's rushed for 22 total touchdowns in 3 years of college football, 1 at Indiana, 2 at the University of Cincinnati. Plus, he never lost a fumble. So he's not a liability, on the field at least. Now let's make one thing perfectly clear. Sorsby wants to play his senior year at Texas Tech, especially since he's got a $5 million payday coming if he does. But he's currently under investigation for not only over 10,000 bets. Now wait, not $10,000 in bets, but over 10,000 separate bets. And if it is proven by the NCAA that Sorsby did bet on his own team while he was in Indiana, the NCAA could render him permanently ineligible. That would mean his senior year would be gone. 2 more things have to happen for Sorsby to enter the supplemental draft. 1, the NCAA must rule before the end of June, because as we said yesterday, when that draft takes place, you've got to give it a few weeks in there for the teams to research and look at everything and decide where they want to bid or if they want to bid. And 2, Sorsby would then have to stop fighting the NCAA and decide that the NFL is the right choice for him. Now, does the NFL have to let him in to the supplemental draft? Unless they want a huge legal battle on their hands, the basic answer to the question is yes. And Sorsby has hired very experienced New York sports, labor, and antitrust attorney Jeffrey Kessler, who has been a thorn in the side of the NCAA and the NFL in other labor disputes. So he knows what he's doing, and that's why Sorsby hired him. We have to keep a few things in mind when it comes to this particular incident as well. First, you got to remember that Sorsby didn't break any rules per se, at least none on the field, but possibly the rule of integrity, which begs the question, can he be trusted by the team? Can he be trusted by the players, the front office, and possibly even the fan base? Now, I gave you all the statistics. The talent is there, but the trust is not. So which outweighs the other? Tomorrow, right here on the Sports Pulpit, the NFL can't block him from entering the supplemental draft, as we just found out. But once he does enter the draft, he is then part of the NFL, and then they get to decide how much they want to prove and how they can punish him based on their findings and the NCAA's findings. Now, the league's done it before in the case of one Ohio State football player, and we're going to look at exactly how that incident compares to previous supplemental draft incidences. That'll be one of 4 that we look at tomorrow, and how all of this may possibly play out in the end with Sorsby and the supplemental draft. As we bid you adieu for the second episode of this week, you still got to remember Ernie Banks. And I absolutely love this saying, because the only way that you know, if you're a good sport, is to lose.